Let's start with the very first question. That is, your company's data science team anticipate a significant increase in number and complexity of machine learning. So they are talking about ML, and they plan to train over next year. Current the use current the team use compute engine for the training. That is wrong. We have lots of ML options here. So I'm looking for ML and AI. Here you can see this is the correct one. Okay, let me just go to the next option, next question. I already answered 5 questions, 5 or 6 questions. The very next question is question number 2. As a cloud architect, you are helping a large organization to deploy and update their mission critical application on App Engine. Okay, App Engine is the keyword here. The application is used 24/7 by users worldwide, and it's critical that update does not affect an application availability or user experience. So as per me, canary deployment is correct just because this description. Otherwise I'll go for the blue-green deployment. Here it says to delete the old version. Okay. Question number 3. As a cloud architect, you are working with an organization to structure their BigQuery permissions. Okay, so it is regarding permissions. The company has 3 teams. First is data analysis, data scientist, and data engineer. We can consider as a ABC. The data analysis should be able to run queries. Okay, for running the queries. Second, the data scientist need to create and run machine learning models in a BigQuery, and third one should have full access. Okay, so I'm looking for a first one is a viewer, then second one should have a user, and third one is a owner, because full control is a owner. So except here no one said owner, right? Okay, let's go for the next question. Question number 4. Your company want to deploy a batch processing workload in Google Cloud using Apache Spark. Apache Spark remind me the Dataproc, and here you can see the Dataproc. Let's read the remaining question. The workload consists the large number of compute intensive tasks that can be executed in parallel, must be scalable and cost effectively. How would you deploy the batch processing workload in Google Cloud to meet this requirement? So if I talk about compute, we have VMs, Dataflow, and Dataprocs. So here first option says compute engine, VMs to run the batch processing task. But for Apache Spark, GCP provides us a Dataproc, so that's why I'm not using this. Cloud batch, there is no option as a cloud batch. Cloud function, cloud function should be sufficient, but there is no trigger procedure is there. Okay, and that's why I'm using the remaining one, Dataproc. Let me move further. You are designing a Google Cloud architect for an organization that operate in heavily regulated industries. It need to meet the strict compliance requirement regarding the data and storage access. Okay, which approach you will use? So the first option said cloud audit log, so we are not auditing here, so we can ignore this. Second is encrypt all data in REST using manage encryption key. Yeah, we can do that, but here we are talking about data storage and access, not encryption, not security. Okay. Third option is VPC service control to limit the data. Okay, but here we are talking about again data storage and access that can be possible via customer managed encryption to set up the access control. And if option says any bracket here, then mostly 90% this option is correct, because Google is advertising their service. Let's go to the next question. As a cloud architect, you are working with rapidly expanding startup. Okay, so it is a startup that use Google Cloud, and they have been manually creating individual Google user. That is wrong. We can create a groups for each employee, but now they are scaling and need a more efficient and secure way to manage access Google Cloud service. Which of the following option you should recommend? First option says create a service account for employee. Service account basically goes for application, not a employee or user. Second option says use a Google Cloud IAM service to create a custom IAM role for each employee. So again, we are not gonna create a custom role for each employee. We are looking for a group option. Third one I can skip for now. And last option says continue creating individual users. If they are good with the continue using individual user, then why should they hire a cloud architect? Okay, so we can skip this one also. The last option is set up a cloud identity or G Suite domain. Then we can use Google Cloud directories to synchronize to the user to Google Cloud. I think this option is correct. Okay, now we have fresh questions. I haven't go through these questions yet. Okay, so let's start. You are creating a VPC network to host a set of compute resources for multi-tier web application in Google Cloud. Okay, so we have multi-tier. So it means we have a database network and all in different tiers. Okay, how should you configure the network to optimize securely and manageability? Okay, so let's go through the options now. First option is says create a separate subnet for each tier of application. This looks fine. The second says assign public IP address to all compute instances to facilitate direct access. I don't think it's correct. And the third one says use automatic mode to create the VPC network. And last says use shared VPC to host all the compute resources. Shared VPC does not work for a single project. I think the second option is correct. The first option is correct. Create a separate subnet for each tier. Let's see once we're done with this 70 questions. Okay, as a cloud architect, you are assigning a client with e-commerce applications hosted on a Google Cloud Platform GCP. The client applications is expected to receive an increased volume of traffic during upcoming sales. Okay, so maybe they have a spike in traffic. They're expecting a spike. Okay, they want to distribute incoming traffic across multiple compute engines VMs using a cloud load balancer. Additionally, they want to ensure that if any instance is unresponsive or unable to handle the request, is automatically removed from pool of available instance. Which of following configurations would best to achieve this? I'm remembering about Kubernetes and manage instances. Let's see options. The first says configure an HTTP load balancer with global backend services and set up an HTTP health check. Health check is good. Okay, this option looks good. Second is configure a TCP SSL proxy load balancer and set up a TCP health check. Okay, let's go to the questions again. It says they want to distribute incoming traffic across the multiple compute instance using additionally. Okay, so looks like traffic is coming from outside of network. So I'll still go with the first one. The third option is configure a node network or load balancer and set up a TCP health check. Configure a network load balancer and set up a HTTP health. So I'll go with the first one. Refer to helicopter racing league case study for these questions. The helicopter racing league HRL is seeking your assistance in expanding the reach of their existing recorded video content to attract new fans in emerging regions. Okay, in light of, I'm remembering about CDN. Okay, let's go to the questions. In light of business technical requirement of HRL, what action you would take? You should serve the video content directly from multi-region cloud storage bucket. You should use APG Edge to cache the video content. Okay, the last option is itself says use CDN to cache the video content from HRL existing public cloud provider. So it should use the CDN because it's already recorded. Okay. A marketing company create a lot of handling pages, static website. As a cloud architect, which storage service you should recommend in this case? Okay, so first thing is there is a lot of landing page, static website. The cloud architect, which service you would recommend? So if it is a static, I'm not going through the options. I'm remembering about CDN and cloud storage buckets. Let's go through the option now. First option said data store. I don't think database needed here. Data storage, yeah, it should be correct. Engine plus persistent disk. No, we should not use persistent disk to just to store files. Storage is better option. Endpoints and SDK. No, this should be the correct one. As a cloud architect, you are helping a large organization configure IAM roles of their security teams. The teams need to audit corporate application deploy on GCP, identify security risk and recommended improvement, but they should not allow to modify resource. Which of the following most suitable IAM role to assign to the team? Okay, so I think it should be a viewer role. There is no auditor role. edit, admin and review. There is no review. I should not give the admin or editor. Yeah, it should be a viewer role. Load it, please. Okay. The next question. As a cloud architect, you are working with the cost conscious client with who regularly run large complex queries on a big query. They want to understand how they can estimate the cost of running big query before they execute. Okay, so we have a dry run. Is there any option for dry run? No. It to avoid unexpected expenses, which of the following most suitable solution for this? Let's go one by one. Preview the queries in BigQuery. View UI, which displays an estimate of amount of data query will process. Use the BigQuery command line BQ show command to inspect the query. Use cloud monitoring to estimate the cost based on previous query. No, we can't use based on previous query. Use Google Cloud pricing calculator by enter estimated amount of data processing by the query. I'll go with option B, but I was looking for a option BQ, then dry run. Okay, let's go with the option. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 13. Your company is building a multi-tier web application in Google Cloud. Again, multi-tier, the application has a web front end, an application backend, and database backend. The database backend is critical to the operation of the application and must be highly available and scalable. How should you design the database backend to meet this requirement? First option says use a single Cloud SQL instance for the database backend, but single instance does not fulfill the requirement, says HA, highly available. Use the Cloud SQL read replica for the database backend and configure automatic failover. This looks good. The third option says single Bigtable instance for the database backend. They are not talking about Bigtable, they are talking about Cloud SQL. Okay, let me go through the again. Database. Okay, Bigtable is used for a big company and it says your company, not large company. So that's why I'm not using this Bigtable and Cloud Spanner both. I'll go with option B. There's my mouse. Let me hold for a second. Okay, let's continue with the question number 14. Your compliance team is concerned about using a public cloud service, because other companies will be running their systems in the same cloud. You assure them that your company's resources will be isolated and inaccessible to others. Which resource is used for the purpose? Okay, interconnect is basically connect your on-premises system to Google Cloud. So this does not fulfill the requirement. Second is virtual private cloud, VPC. It should be a good option. CIDR and VPN. I think the option B is correct. Okay, I'll go with option B. Okay, question number 15. As a cloud architect, you are working with an organization that frequently previous. Okay, let me read it again. As a cloud architect, you are working with organization that frequently provision and deprovision a set of Google Cloud resources for a temporary project. They are looking for an automated and reproducible way to manage this. Which of the following approaches best utilize the Google Cloud Deployment Manager for this purpose? I think Deployment Manager is for Google resources. Okay, let's go through the options again. Use Deployment Manager to automate the process of manual creating and deleting resources in Google Cloud. Option looks good. Create a Deployment Manager configuration file for the required resources and use Deployment Manager to create and delete these resources as needed. Use Deployment Manager to periodically check and for unused resources and delete them. I'm a little bit confused in option A and B. Option A said to use a console manually. It says manually creating. And option B says to create a configuration file. Okay, let's go to the questions again. They are looking for automated. Okay, so I was confused about this manual and this automated, and it says automated, so I'll go with option B. Okay, question number 16. Your organization uses Google Kubernetes Engine GK for its microservice based application. The number of services is expected to grow significant over the next 2 years. Okay. What would be the best approach to ensure manageability and operational efficiency as the number of services increase? First option says increase the size of GKE cluster. Need to accommodate a growing number of services. Implement Google Cloud logging for the better logging management. They are not asking for a logging. Implement the service mesh using, what is that? For fine grained control, and no, I don't think they are looking for this thing. The third option says migrate to compute engine instances to reduce complexity. Except the first option, all the options are talking about something else. So I'll go with the first one. Increase the size of GKE cluster. Question number 17, and it's really interesting one. Your customer is planning to run a highly available and scalable web application in Google Cloud. When they said highly available and scalable, it means they are looking for a big service. Okay. The customer has following requirement. Application must be easily deployable and manageable. Easily deployable. Okay. The application must be highly available and recover from the failure. I think all the services are highly available and recover from failure. The application must be able to handle the incoming traffic spikes and scale dynamically. No problem. The application must be secure, protects against the common web attack. They are not talking about DDoS. They are talking about common web attacks. So I'll not go for the Cloud Armor. I'll go for okay, so they are not saying event based any function, so this is eliminated. Cloud armor is eliminated just because common attacks, they are saying protect against the common attacks. This one is also eliminated. Then we have two options, App Engine and Kubernetes. So here it says easily deployable and manageable. So I'll choose this option, App Engine, because App Engine is easy with Kubernetes engine. So I'll go with this one. Okay, now we have a big question. No worries, all the questions are easy. Question number 18. Financial services company want to implement a financial service, okay, want to implement a secure and scalable solution for processing large volumes of financial transactions. Again, large volume of financial transaction. So as per my thinking, they are talking about database. The solution should be provided real-time visibility into the transaction status. Okay, so maybe they're talking about BigQuery and Bigtable. Let's figure it out and enable the employees to resolve issues and perform auditing tasks. Okay, this maybe they're talking about the spanner. The solution should be fully managed and minimize the need of additional hardware and software investment. Which of the following options would you most effectively approach to meet this requirement? First said the use Cloud SQL. It is a good option. Second says to use a Bigtable. Again a good option, but Bigtable is a NoSQL. And here they're talking about financial services and transactions. So I believe it should be a relationable data. Second thing is used to data store, and last said to use Cloud Spanner. So I'll go for option A and option B. Let's see. First says to store transactional data. Cloud function for processing transactions in real time. Here I have a doubt. And last option says to use cloud data flow for processing transaction in real time. Use PubSub for real time updates and transaction status. And I am controlling access of data. That looks good. Except the last option, all options says cloud function for processing real time data. Cloud function, I don't think uses real time data. If it is real time, then it should be go for a PubSub, not a function, because function need a trigger, and if it is a continuous trigger, then there is no need of trigger. It should be a real time. Okay, so I'll go for the option D. Okay, question number 19. As a SaaS solution of enterprise customer need to be updated, many component of services stateful, and the system wasn't designed to allow the incremental rollout for a new cloud. Okay, they are looking for a SaaS solution. Okay, and many components of the time service are stateful. Okay, so here they are talking about a database. Maybe system wasn't designed to allow the increment rollout for new code. The entire environment has to be running in the same version of the deployment code. Okay, so they are not allowing incremental. So Canary is already rolled out. because it's kind of incremental. Two versions run at the same time. Rolling update, it looks good to me. AB and a blue green, it's the same strategy where two versions are live at the same time, but however traffic is belongs to the one version. They are not talking about any downtime. Okay, that's why I'm going for a rolling dead. No pickup. Okay, let's go with the rolling update and see in the result. Okay, question number 20. As a cloud architect, you are assisting a client to transfer a large set of files from their local data center to Google Cloud or cloud storage. The client has asked to minimize the cost of associated with the network ingress. They have a cloud interconnect connection to set up want to transfer files over the connection. What is the most appropriate gsutil command to use purpose? Actually, one second. Back again. I don't have any clear idea on this. Let's try to figure out our best. First says gsutil -m copy r then directory. Second says gsutil then option O means output. Output looks one second. Looks like a storage. Then they are copying from local directory to storage. Okay, this option looks good too. Okay, but my final call is the last option. It is pretty simple. Just copy from what and the destination. I don't think there is requirement for output option O. That's why I'll go for this one.